on our high-definition video board. Tickets are $10 per person in advance or $15 at the gate, and kids 2 and under are free. Get your tickets now at TrashPandasBaseball.com. Trash Pandas Baseball. Ignite the season.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
Good morning, I'm Doug Brown. Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl earlier this year, and now the Tampa Bay Times reports Brady played the whole season with a torn MCL in his left knee. He had surgery in late February. Brady hasn't talked about it other than to say it was pretty serious. Team USA basketball cancels its last pre-Olympics tune-up game today against Australia. Bradley Beal and Jeremy Grant both in the health and safety protocols. Beal will not be available. Grant both in the health and safety protocols. Beal will not be available. Grant both in the health and safety protocols. Beal will not be available. Grant both in the health and safety protocols.
Technology finds people with the right experience for your job and invites them to apply. And now you can try it for free only at ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. This is the only place for Drew DeArmond, Wes Neighbors, and of course, Thom Abraham.
I never met him, but I hear that he's a man of character.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody wants coffee?
Can you get me a roll type thing?
Your tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. Ty Cicero, how today?
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Oh, yes, we are on, Coach. It's Football Friday in the Doghouse, and you know what Football Friday means. Football Friday means football music. Football music means that we're going to party like it's 1970. That's right, baby. It's a flat-out orgasm is what I think it is. And if you're tuned in on the Facebook or the Twitter or the Twitch, you're seeing us dance a lot better than usual, I think. Well, look, Jordan Spieth has got it to 7 under, 2 off the lead in the British. This is just so funky. How can you not dig this? Where's the real trill? Oh, I lost Grizz on my feet over there. I can see him dancing there on the Twitch. I like when I get to see you in that there Zoom box too, you know, for some reason. I don't know. We've imported a new and improved computer. Borrowing. You want to see how this one works and how this works on our video streaming. And if it works really good, then we'll be in like Flynn. We'll be using this all next week, as well as we'll be broadcasting from SEC Media Days. That's right. SEC Media Days is upon us. We'll be descending upon Hoover in mass, whatever. All of our shows broadcasting. Even Chuck Oliver and their Paul Feinbaum. Finnebaum will be there as well. We'll all be there broadcasting from SEC Media Days all next week, courtesy of some great sponsors. So we appreciate all of those people. As far as the Thom Abraham Show, you know who that's going to be. It's Woody Anderson Ford, it's TOC, it's Valley Equipment, and a new great sponsor, North Alabama Mortgage, which you're going to be learning a lot more about over the rest of the year as well. So we're really fired up about all of that stuff. Not only is it SEC Media Days in Hoover next week, NFL camps open up next week in Dallas and Pittsburgh. So this is all going to happen really fast now. You know, it's so long, it feels like, in the offseason, and then it's like boom, 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 boom. I mean, it happens so fast, and we're ready for it, that's for sure. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. It's a good old-fashioned way to communicate with the show. Call the show. We also have your entire digital doghouse for you as well. Our Twitter feed, at Thom Abraham Show. Facebook, Thom Abraham Show. Text window is 7329. TA Show, 732-982-7469. No, there's nothing wrong with the audio on your radio. That's just me with the hiccups. All right? So there's nothing wrong with the audio. That's just me, because I get so excited. I start gulping air, and I get so excited for the show. You know, I've only been on the air 23 years. So I get really excited when we get going. 24 years? 97. 24 years this fall. Holy moly. Zone is on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. Online, 97.7ESPN.com. On the app as well. You got to check that bad boy out as well. If you don't have the app, you're missing out is the problem, because you can, with the app, you
can take it near, you can take it far, you can take it in your car, you can take it to a bar.
Yeah. So you can do all of those things with the app. You can take it near and far. Very, very cool. Listen, we got a new YouTube page. It's 97.7 ESPN The Zone. All right, so like and hit the notification bell on that thing, and that'll be really cool as well. Coming off the top of the show today, NFL insider Brent Sobleski will join us from the Bleacher Report. Now, you know, the NFL announced that it will play Lift Every Voice and Sing before the national anthem at every game this season. Remember, they played it opening day last year. They played it at the Super Bowl. Now, if I told you simply that the song is Lift Every Voice and Sing, all right. Maybe that doesn't really move the needle for anyone. But when the song is referred to as the Black National Anthem, now there's some gnashing of teeth. And I get it, because calling it the Black National Anthem seems divisive. As if our national anthem, our national anthem, is somehow the white national anthem. If you have a black national anthem, there must be a white national anthem. And the reality is, we are one nation with one flag and one national anthem. So I wonder if the people who keep referring to the song as the Black National Anthem are just trying to rile people up. I mean, the song is fine. As Lift Every Voice and Sing, it's a lovely song. I'm going to leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Hey, they're going to play this song, Lift Every Voice and Sing. But, of course, we need to continue to create division for people. It's like crying fire in a theater. It's like rolling a stink bomb into a crowded, of people and watching the people go nuts. It just sucks that it doesn't seem we can't get past this. Just can't get past it. And it makes me wonder whether or not, that's the Black National Anthem. Well, lift every voice and sing. Because if you call it the Black National Anthem, you're looking for trouble. I'm just telling you, you're looking for trouble if you do that, if you go that route. Not because, because we are the melting pot. The whole idea of America is the melting pot. Yes, I know 250 years ago when this country was founded, there was slavery. It was slavery all over the world. But we haven't had that for like 150 years, all right? Move on. We are the melting pot. We're the greatest country in the world. But we want to fight amongst ourselves, and we want to say, oh, well, this is the black national anthem. This is the national anthem. I think people are saying it just to create division. I wonder how many African-American people over the years referred to Lift Every Voice and Sing as the black national anthem. Or did they ever, if they were aware of the song, if you're black and you're listening to the show, and you are aware of the song Lift Every Voice and Sing, hey, Lift Every Voice and Sing. What a beautiful song. Lift Every Voice and Sing. Written by the ancestor of a slave and talking about, freedom and so on. Okay, that's great. But I wonder how many people in the African-American community refer to that as the black national anthem. Or if we're just saying it so that we can piss people off. And people say, hey, if it costs the league ratings and fans, so be it. This is bigger than ratings and fans. Well, really? No, it's not. The NFL is in the entertainment business. Doing anything to drive fans away is not real smart. Like running a TV commercial that says the NFL is gay or the NFL is lesbian and the NFL is transgender or whatever. You know what the NFL is? It's a sport meant to entertain us. This is my opinion. The opinions of the hosts are not necessarily the opinions of 97.7 ESPN, the Zone, or ESPN, or the producer, or the program director, or the owner of the station, or anyone else. Here are the opinions of the host. At the top of the 11, Matt Scalici from AL.com is in. SEC Media Days, as I said, begins on Monday. AL.com will be all over it, as will we. We'll hit on some college football storylines with Matt. Happy birthday to Barry Sanders. 53 years old today. Loved Barry Sanders. Very entertained by Barry Sanders' running style. There's a lot out there on the interwebs today saying Barry Sanders, the greatest running back of all time, 53 today. Barry Sanders is not the GOAT. Love him. He's on the short list. On my personal list, I got him 3. 2 would be a healthy Gale Sayers. You guys have no idea. You have no idea. I have no idea what the heck is in my left eye. Chris is watching me as I rub my left eye. Anybody that's watching. A healthy Gale Sayers was just off the chain. But let me tell you, the greatest running back of all time is Jim Brown. And Barry's daddy will tell you the same thing. There were no expansion teams for him to pile up yards against. The hash marks weren't in the middle of the field, people. The hash marks, when Jim Brown played, were the same as the high school hash marks now. They were the wide hash marks. If they'd have put the ball in the middle of the field and Jim Brown had either side to go to all the time and you couldn't stack the defense to the field and run them into the boundary, oh, my gosh. They had no artificial turf. The southernmost team was Washington, which was at a quagmire half the time. There was a team in Los Angeles. Other than that, most of the teams were in the north, lousy, miserable weather, muddy fields. They played on fields that had skinned infield from baseball. They didn't have perfectly manicured fields like they got now, and they certainly didn't have any artificial turf when he played. But Barry Sanders played on artificial turf. Half of the stuff that Barry Sanders did on artificial turf, if he was playing in the mud and the slop that they played on in the 60s, he would have been on the ground. He would have fallen down. He couldn't have made all those crazy moves. And keep this in mind. He was the entire focus, Jim Brown, of every defense, and he obliterated records. He was Babe Ruth-like. There was nothing for him to chase. When he came into the league, there had been one 1,000-yard season. One. He had 7 in his 9 years, and the other one he missed by 6 yards, and, then they had 12-game seasons half his career. The single-season rushing record when Jim Brown came in, the single-season rushing record was 1,100 yards. Steve Van Buren in 1949, I think, had 1,100 yards. That was the record. Jim Brown broke it in his second season with over 1,500 yards, and in 7 of his 9 seasons, he exceeded the 1,100 yards. He would have broke the record every freaking year he played. You have no idea. The career record was 5,800. He more than doubled that. Led the league in rushing 8 of his 9 seasons. Stole a record. What's the rushing record now? 19,000 yards with Emmett Smith. Can you imagine a guy showing up now in rushing for 3,200 yards or something, 32,000 yards? That's what Jim Brown did. He more than doubled the record. It was 5,800. When he left, it was 12,100 and something. 12,300 something maybe. Nuts. Just nuts. In the ninth game of his rookie year against the Los Angeles Rams, Jim Brown rushed for 237 yards. He set the single-season record. The record stood for 14 years, and as a rookie, the record stood for over 40 years. Jim Brown. You just don't know. I mean, I'm not throwing shade at you. I'm just telling you, you don't know. Barry Sanders is great. Happy birthday to Barry Sanders. Over there in the little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones and working on the video technology and doing a tremendous job. Living large on a Friday. It's Coach Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a volley.
Brilliant! I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole. Right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good time roll.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
It's Friday is what it is. Grizz, I mean, I just love this day. Don't you just love Football Friday?
Yes. Oh, man, it's amazing. And, man, you are looking great over there. Everything is working, perfectly at the moment. Let me knock on wood or something somewhere. Man, everything sounds good. Everything looks good. But, yeah, I'm happy on a Friday.
I like what you've done. What happened was Grizz brought in his supercomputer and juiced things up a little bit to see how this will work. And then we're going to use it all the next week from SEC Media Days. So it looks really, really good. And then if this works, Grizz, then we know exactly what we need then to take it to the next level. And what's going to be interesting is now for the people that are watching, I really encourage you to watch. We would love to have your feedback. But for the people that are watching this thing on Twitch and Twitter and on Facebook, the next step will be we'll see how much we can do with this. We can put a bottom line on there. We can put other kinds of information on there on the side and so on, and you can react on Twitch. But am I lying, Grizz, when I say that? And the next thing is it's just a matter now of what programs or systems that you put in place to you could juice this up and make it look like you're watching SportsCenter on TV.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Just got to keep playing around with it. And to be honest with you, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on these broadcasters that you can actually take the tools that they have and you can implement them into your stream and everything like that. So I know a lot of people out there that might know what I'm talking about when I say Streamlabs, OBS Studios, XSplit. There's a huge number of broadcasters that you can use to promote your channel and whatever you're doing, gaming-wise or whatever. And these tools make it really, really easy. OBS Studios.
It's not a game. This isn't the Thom Abraham Show video game.
It's almost like that.
Can you imagine that? We could have a video game, the Thom Abraham Show video game, where you can be like a drinking game. You know what I mean? Where every time I say he's playing the Platters of Matter and Stacks of Wax, you take another hit or you get points or whatever it is. You guys did that in the office one time. You had like some kind of a board, like
it was a bingo.
Thom Abraham
game.
Show bingo. You know what I mean? And every time I use one of my catchphrases, you would get points.
Every time he says JYB, take a drink.
The JYB
of
gets
water.
you a drink. Yeah, of water. Yeah, absolutely. The thing I got to do is I got to get a better camera. I don't like my camera. I mean, I think the camera's okay. I don't know how it looks to you. But I don't like that it is so – it's got a fish lens on it, apparently.
It kind of does, yeah.
It's a 110-degree lens, and you could see too much. You know what I mean? In my opinion. I mean, it's bad enough that you can see me.
Yeah.
But you can see too much, it seems like. And it makes it look, and I got to get a blackout shade for this thing back here. I'm pinning my curtains together because the sunlight comes in directly from there. So I want to get like a blackout shade for it. But and I could take you around the room. I mean, this is. Oh, you know what I did the other day? I had my son was in here and he brought his drone in here and he shot a video with his drone of the whole office.
Go around your face.
Yeah, no, he went flying around the top and everything else. But if you see there, you can see around the studio. You can see some of the artwork that's on the wall and so on behind me.
It looks a lot better than when the last time you tried to do this.
Yeah, it's moving a lot better. There's a Daniel Moore over there of The Catch, right? Yeah, you see, you've got that signed by Daniel.
I've got that, but smaller.
Yeah. Well, see, mine's actually signed by Daniel.
So is mine.
It's signed by, it's the print is signed and then he signed it personally.
Yeah.
So it has the two signatures, which is always cool.
I've got old popcorn tins signed by him.
Oh, really?
That's
cool. That's cool. There's the Big Dog Barker Lounger right there. All right, so that's where I sit and relax if I'm in studio and I want to just hang out and sit and relax.
Comfy chair.
Yeah, very comfy chair. It's a recliner. And then there's the Great Wall of Craps, right? I always talk about the Great Wall of Craps. So you can kind of see the Great Wall of Craps over there on that side. All the books. I did not buy one book that's on that shelf. You know when we have authors on and everything? Those are all the books that have been sent to me. Every single one of those are books that have been sent. There's mini helmets and things like that. A lot of memorabilia up there. There's Derek Jeter. I don't know if I – there you go. I would tip it up a little bit. Up there, I should have the zoom on there. There's Derek Jeter stuff, and that's all Yankee stuff that's up on top of that over there. And then as I pan around this way – you see, there's the studio TV. This is pulling back the curtain.
Oh yeah,
this is pulling back the curtain. There's the studio TV with the U.S. Open on there. See, above it is the Vince Lombardi up there with two of his great speeches. Dale Earnhardt over there to the right, Forrest Wood to the left. On the mantle right there above the fireplace there, mantle, those are a bunch of awards and stuff like that I've won. That one fish trophy there, that is the TOC Kickin' Bass media trophy that I've won numerous times. That sits there. Scott Tyson's name is on it. He won that once, and so he's on there as well. And then as I pan around this way, you see there's the fish tank. My water got cloudy again. I don't know why. Yeah, the water's getting cloudy. And a bobblehead from Ozzy, Nashville Sounds.
Man, I'd have that fish tank in the background the whole time.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Once we get, maybe I need to do something like that.
Move the desk around.
Yeah, or slide the fish tank around and move it around. But there's all kinds of stuff there, and so there. That's the tour, and then the desk itself. Okay, that's how I can right there. For people to see that. That's how I connect to the radio station. That little thing that's, beeping and bopping over there. There's one of the what do you call it, the tripod there where I shoot the videos in the morning and so on. That's the mixing board. All right. This is all my files and things like that of stuff that I'm actively working on now. There's speakers there. And it kind of gives you a little bit of a panoramic view or a view around, take you around the Big Dog Production Studios.
Looks really good.
And put it over there, and that's it. And there are 3 radio shows that come out of here: Field of Faith Radio, Bassmaster Radio, and this here Thom Abraham Show Experience thing. All come out of here.
We got the whole experience. That was amazing. I love the fireplace, by the way. That I still love that fireplace being right there. That's awesome.
The fireplace is nice. The fireplace is 100. Well, the house is 120 years old. So did you see what was on the floor? Wait a minute. I gotta swing one around one more time. You'll get a kick out of this. This is an inside joke. See what's on the floor there in front of the fireplace? I got to get them up. I stole those out of the studio.
I knew you'd get both of them. I didn't know we had that other one. I didn't know. Where was the other one at? The Yankee Stadium.
The panoramic Yankee Stadium? That was actually up behind where Steve sits in the studio. It was in that area of the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they had been up there, and then somebody took it down.
I was like, I took off the other one. I know that.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy that worked in this studio years ago. That was a Yankee fan other than me. So there was some Yankee stuff that got in there. I don't want to say his name. It rhymes with Bull Bubalik. Give me Keith the Michigan fan here quick. Keith, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing all right, big dog. Hey, I had to call. I think the problem is history, the way it's taught in school. The Star Spangled Banner, if you look up the lyrics, you'll find some very disturbing things, such as they talk about the slavery. But I never heard it when I was in school, and we had to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. And I think it's, like I said, I believe it's the way history is taught in school, to where you don't know these things.
Well, they took some. We know the lyrics of the Star Spangled Banner. Now they did take some stuff out of there, but it was a different. Right. It was a different time too. I mean, that's the other part about it. I mean, it's a totally different time. But would you agree or disagree that if they just said, "Hey, we're going to play Lift Every Voice and Sing" before the Star Spangled Banner, before every game, that would be less explosive to people than saying, "Oh, it's the Black National Anthem"? Don't say it's a Black National. There's no such thing as a white national anthem or a Black national anthem. It's just a national anthem.
It's a national anthem, and when you think of it, you think of the Star Spangled Banner. But now, I'd never heard of the Black national anthem until I was maybe a teenager or in the military, and I still don't know the lyrics to it, but Bill Clinton did.
Yeah, well, he was the first black president, as you know, Bill Clinton.
Well, yeah.
That's what he'll tell you.
But I go back to the history that is taught in school, to where I never knew anything about Black Wall Street until a guy from Oklahoma told me at work, "Hey, this was in the late 90s. He said, Oklahoma has a secret, and you need to try to find out what it is." Then I come to find out what it is.
Yeah.
They are so, I don't know why the government, because they're the ones supposed to be in charge, do not teach history so everybody will know. And then you grow up and you understand, okay, the nation was this, but it is this today, and it's going to be better tomorrow. I mean, that's what we all strive for, a better country.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and it boils down to history. But as far as
But in the national anthem, in the Star Spangled Banner, we only sing, our national anthem is just the first verse of the Star Spangled Banner. And there's nothing in there that is offensive or that, talks about slavery or anything like that. It's just strictly what you hear, And now there are three more verses of the Star Spangled Banner, but nobody sings those.
Yes, but now, is that revisionist history? I mean, to where you changed it, you taken out. I don't know what year they decided to take that out, but
well, we've been too long. We can't wait that long. We only got 1 minute and 20 seconds. We got to get to the game. We don't have that long. We can't sing all of this stuff.
Right. But now, it's just amazing, and like I said, it goes back to the way we teach kids. Because when I was in the '60s getting a shot, do you remember to where in elementary school everybody lined up and they had like a little gun that they put to your arm and you got like 4 or 5 shots in one?
Yep.
Yeah, and nobody complained.
No.
But anyway, I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I'll get to this later on. I have it in front of me. I'll get to it later. I have all of the words of the original Francis Scott Key Star Spangled Banner. I've just kind of gone through it quick. I don't see one thing in here about slaves. Oh, here we go. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. So that's the only line that says anything about slavery. It says no refuge could save the hireling and the slave from the terror of flight or gloom of the grave. So at that point in time, we had slaves. There were slaves. That was a way of life. There were slaves all over the world. There were people in slavery. In the Middle East, there were white. There were slaves all over the world. The hireling would be like employees. And then the slaves were the slaves. And what it's saying, there was no refuge to save the hired people or the slaves from the terror or the flight or the gloom of the grave. You know, slave rhymes with grave, so I guess you threw it in there. But that's not our national anthem. Our national anthem is the first verse of the Star Spangled Banner. It's one nation, one anthem. All right, got to get a break. We'll come back. Brent Sobleski's next from the Bleacher Report, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's trilogy fight for the WBC Heavyweight Championship has been moved to October. The most recent odds have Fury at -290, Wilder +225. NASCAR Cup Championship Series, Kyle Larson the favorite +250, Chase Elliott at +650, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch at +800, Martin Truex at +900. Larson and Truex each at +500 atop the odds for Sunday's Foxwood Resort Casino 301, Denny Hamlin at +550. The NBA Finals now even at 2 games apiece. The Suns will host Game 5 tomorrow. They come in a 4-point favorite, the over-under 218. Giannis Antetokounmpo now the favorite to win MVP at +130.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
With double the seasoned beef and a large drink all for $5, Taco Bell's Grande Nachos truly deserves a Grande intro, perhaps with a Grande beat box. Said it's crunchy, it's cheesy. Beat, actually, that sounded better in my head. Go get the $5 Grande Nachos before they make every exit. Nope, only at Taco Bell. At limited participating locations for a limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes. Double the seasoned beef as compared to the Nachos Bell Grande.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back. Football Friday version of the Thom Abraham Show. On the eve of SEC Media Days. I just keep saying it. Does it get tedious for us? No, not really. 4 days next week. But right in the middle of that, in fact, the day that Nick Saban speaks, the Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers will be in camp. They'll open training camp. Then on the 25th, the Buccaneers open up. And then on the 27th, the entire league opens up. And then it's on like Donkey Kong. I mean, it happens so fast. And before you know it, we'll be having games. Joining us now on a Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline from the Bleacher Report, NFL insider Brent Sobleski. Sobo, it's about to happen, man.
And I'm trying to escape on vacation before it does, my friend.
No, we do that last week. So. Yeah, we evacuated last week because, we got SEC Media Days coming up, which is like, you can't miss that.
Well, I joke all the time. People ask me that don't understand the business. They're like, well, what do you write about when there's not games being played? And I tell them all the time, it is literally busier in the off season than it is when I'm actually in season. And I need to get away just for a little bit, take family to the beach for a couple days, visit Washington, D.C. as well. We're going to do that. And then I'll be recharged and ready to go and the same boisterous person that I normally am.
The Washington football team is going to be the Washington football team for another year. And then they're going to have to come up with a name. They tried to pull a fast one. You know this, that they tried to they petitioned the league. They want to stay the Washington football team because they know damn well that their fans will still call them the Redskins then. And they just, like the NFL told them, no, you can't do that. I was a little put off, though, by the new president of the team saying that Warriors was off the table because they didn't want any reference to, Native American symbols or anything like that. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here. I just sent a check to the Wounded Warriors. And the last I knew, our great military that's out there and all the branches of the military that are fighting are referred to as warriors. And this is Washington, D.C. And I would be a little bit offended. If I was a military guy and you said that warriors just means natives, I would be offended by that.
I just think it's an instance where they don't want to be misinterpreted. And also, let's not take the business equivalent out of this equation, right?
Yeah.
Because you do have another team in professional sports known as the Warriors that could steal a little bit of the buzz when you announce your name. And I'm not saying that's entirely the reason Washington did so, but when it comes down to the bean counters, I'm sure it played a role just a tiny bit in the decision. The reason I was kind of upset about them not wanting to have anything that even can be misconstrued as references towards Native Americans is, to me, to this day, there was an article written almost 10 years ago now. I believe it was the Washington Post wrote it at the time, where they should name the team the Red Clouds. I absolutely loved it. I thought it made sense from a historical perspective.
The Red what?
Anyone that knows the Red Clouds. It would actually be in reference to the great Native American leader Red Cloud, and he would serve as their, not necessarily the mascot, it's not the right term, but just better than Redskins, and actually honor them instead of degrading.
Right, like Blackhawks or Seminoles,
Yes,
do
correct.
with a. Listen, There's Native Americans, African Americans, Italian Americans, Irish Americans, German Americans. I like Americans. I mean, I really think Washington Americans would be. Of course, there are people in our society now that would be offended by Americans because they don't like America. But Americans, my beloved Rochester Amerks, the Rochester Americans Hockey Club in the AHL from my hometown of Rochester, New York. I'm sure they would let that go. They would have to change the colors. I'm sure they would have to go red, white, and blue. But how cool would that be if they were the Rochester or the Washington Americans, and who could root against them? You know what I mean? I mean, everybody who was like melancholy about a team. Well, how can you not be a fan of the Americans?
I'm not a fan of it, Tom. I'm going to be honest with you. I just think it's too generic. It's almost like Texans. Well, woo-hoo! That's something to be excited about.
Yeah, but that's what we're left with nowadays because everybody finds something to be offended by, so we're left with generic names.
I personally like the two the leaders in the clubhouse, as it were, at least from public opinion. I like Red Tails because, again, that's honoring soldiers in the history. I think that fits well. I like Red Wolves just because it'd be an awesome mascot to have overall logo. So to me, those fit just well and work within this color scheme. At least they wouldn't have to come out looking like Captain America every time. And then when we see them in their tight football pants, we can say, "Look, that's American's ass."
Yeah, but if they're red tails, people are gonna call them red asses. They're gonna say they're red asses if you call them red tails, and it's very specific too, though. That's a very specific, and we all love the Tuskegee Airmen and the story of those guys, but that still is honoring a very small, specific group. So it's like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Now, the league announced today that they're going to play Lift Every Voice and Sing before the national anthem at every game. They did it week 1 last year, and then they did it before the Super Bowl. And I'm of an opinion. I want to get your opinion on this. I'm of the opinion that if they just said Lift Every Voice and Sing, we're going to play Lift Every Voice and Sing, and then we're going to play the national anthem. If they just said that, if it was just left at that, I think people would shrug and say, okay, fine. It's not on TV anyway. We'll be in a commercial break. It's just more music at the game. But I think there's a certain segment that wants to continue to refer to this as the Black National Anthem. And when you say Black National Anthem, it sounds divisive because it's like, well, if we have a Black National Anthem, do we have a White National Anthem? Why do we have one National Anthem? Stop saying Black National Anthem. But it feels like, to me, Brent, that people who want to continue to perpetuate this as the Black National Anthem are just trying to create more division because it sounds divisive then, that we got to have 2 national anthems for 2 races in our country. What do you think?
Well, I think it's something of pride, and there's nothing wrong with that, much like the national anthem. At the same time, it's not a big deal to me personally, and this has been my argument throughout all this, whether we're talking about the Washington Redskins, whether we're talking about taking a knee, whether we're talking about the national anthems. Just because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean it doesn't for others. Right. And I want to be open to every possibility and understanding of everyone's plight. And so if this is something that will rally people, that will put a lot of this to bed, as it were, when it comes to the divisiveness that we've experienced with the NFL over the last few years, to me, that's a gigantic positive.
But I think it's doing the opposite, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Well,
if they call it, it's not the Black National Anthem. The people that, what I'm saying is, the song is great. There's pride in that song for the people that know the words and know what it means and so on and so forth. But I think that others, antagonists, you know what I mean, are saying, they're like kind of prodding, oh, yeah, that's the Black National Anthem. No, that's just a song. There's no such thing as a Black National Anthem. It's just a song, you know what I mean? And I think, because it can be more divisive, it can be the opposite of what we're trying to have happen in this country, which is pull everybody back together under one, banner.
Well, to be honest, Tom, why should we be beholden to the ignorant? And that's really what you're discussing. Those who will become upset by it because they aren't willing to take the time or the effort to do research to understand the situation and why it's applicable to this situation. So I don't see it as a big deal. It's becoming less and less of a big deal for the majority of fans as the seasons pass since this all began. So, I understand this is a momentous occasion for the NFL and what they're doing moving forward, but at the same time, I think it's less of an issue for the majority of NFL fans and those who cover the league than it has been at any point since this discussion began.
Brent Sobleski with us from the Bleacher Report. You and your cohorts there at the Bleacher Report predicted the winners of each division, and I just want to kind of touch on some of that as we go down through here. Now, I want to talk about the dissenters. For the AFC East, Gary Davenport said Dolphins. You and Brad said Buffalo Bills. Is there a case to be made? Because I thought the Bills would be a unanimous pick on that one there. Is there a case to be made for the Dolphins?
I thought so as well. I thought the Bills would have been unanimous in their decision. But Gary leaned in another direction. He saw that the ascending Miami Dolphins, and really his argument is very simple, that they have as good of a roster, but they're dependent on Tua Tagovailoa's development. And if Tua becomes the player that Miami expects, then they can very well usurp the throne from the Buffalo Bills, especially if we see some regression to the mean regarding Josh Allen. Now, I'm not saying either of those things are going to happen because we don't know, but that's how he rationalized it in leaning towards the Dolphins over the Bills. Personally, I think the Bills are one of the top 4 teams in the AFC alongside the Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns, and Tennessee Titans, but obviously Gary doesn't.
In the NFC East, 3 guys picking 3 different teams. The Cowboys, I get it, with Dak Prescott coming back. That was your pick. Gary says Washington. I can kind of get my arms around that because I think this division could be won at an 8-9 record. All of these teams could be 8-9. Brad goes off the reservation a little bit here with the Giants. Can you make any case for the Giants, or is he like a Giants fan and he just couldn't stand not saying Giants?
No, he's not a Giants fan by any means. He's actually a Canadian. So,
likes the Argonauts, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So looking at it, I think for him it's just natural progression of their young talent. You get Saquon Barkley back. Obviously, we know he's a difference maker out of the backfield, not only as a runner but as a receiver as well. Daniel Jones should be much better this year now that they've added Kenny Golladay. They went out and got Kadarius Toney in the first round. So they have legitimate weapons at wide receiver, which they didn't a year ago. Plus, the offensive line should naturally progress. I mean, last year you had 2 rookies in Andrew Thomas and Matt Pert at offensive tackle. Okay, and then you also had Shane Lemieux at guard. So them going into year 2 should help overall the offense, and I think that's what he's looking at. To me, it's very simple. If the Dallas Cowboys, if healthy, are the most talented team in that division, if they can keep it all together and keep the remaining majority of their roster on the field for the entirety of the season, they should be the easy favorites in the NFC East.
In the AFC North, I thought that the interesting comments by Gary after, you and Brad picked Cleveland to win the AFC North, and Gary says the Browns are the best team in the division on paper. Meanwhile, the Ravens have been in the playoffs the last 3 seasons and are 2 years removed from a 14-2 season. Ravens win the North with the Browns hot on their heels. It does feel like that's going to be one hell of a race between those 2 teams, and it will come down probably to the quarterback play.
Now, I will say this. Now, we mentioned that Brad lives in Canada, in the Toronto area, and is not a Giants fan. Gary is a Browns fan, so I'm thinking this is reverse psychology on his part. He lives in Columbus. So
oh, this is one of those set the bar low thing, one of those deals.
Yeah. He doesn't fully believe it yet. He's not willing to allow himself to be happy because his team's finally good.
Right.
Type of situation.
We can't have good things.
To his point. Yeah, exactly. To his point, Lamar Jackson is dynamic. To me, the only reason I'm holding Baltimore back actually is twofold. One, their offensive line. You're looking at 4 new starters at different positions. Bradley Bozeman's going from left guard to center. You might have rookie Ben Cleveland at left guard. You went out and got Kevin Zeitler, who's coming off his worst season of his career, and then you added Alejandro Villanueva, who the Pittsburgh Steelers decided not to re-sign. So are you going to be as good on front? And then on the other side of the ball, is your pass rush going to be as good as you need it to be to take full advantage of that awesome secondary you have? So to me, that's why they're a half tier below Cleveland. But I get what Gary's saying based purely on having what you can argue is the best quarterback in the division.
All right, we'll do one more division because we can do the rest of these over the next few weeks as we get ready for the preseason to get started and so on. Make this case for the Bears in the NFC North. You picked them to win it. The other 2 guys took the Packers. Are you making that pick on the basis of not believing that Aaron Rodgers will be there, or do you believe that if Aaron Rodgers shows up, that the Bears still can win this division?
A little from column A and a little from column B. Now, I will say this. When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I am less certain of what he's going to do this fall than I have been at any point. After watching what happened at the match last week and the comments that were made publicly, not necessarily by him but by others, and essentially on his behalf, I don't know if he's going to be a man of principle and sit out simply because he no longer agrees with the organization and doesn't want to be there. I don't have that answer, but so as such, I hedge my bets to a degree because what I do believe is the Chicago Bears made an amazing draft selection with Justin Fields. I think I picked him in our preseason superlatives to be the NFL Rookie of the Year. So if you have Justin Fields stepping in and playing at that level, they could very well, with that defense, be division winners, even with Aaron Rodgers on the field.
Yeah, you've been on Fields for 2 years. I'm still not buying it. I'm still not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. We'll see. How many games in do you think before he takes over? He's not starting game one. They're going to have Andy Dalton at quarterback, don't you think?
Should be. I'm going to say right now, should be. There's no reason why Andy Dalton should be your starter. He can't elevate that roster like Justin Fields potentially can, and that's why you made the trade in the first place.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, that's the big word there. All right, appreciate you as always. Brent Sobleski has been our guest. Sobo, I appreciate it, and we'll continue the conversation. We'll hit the rest of the divisions next week.
Thanks, Tom. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. There you go. 2 weeks. That's right. He's off next week, which is okay because you know what we're doing next Friday. You know next Friday will be the best of SEC Media Days. I mean, we're going to just play the platters that matter and the stacks of wax with the SEC Media Days. The best of Media Days will be next Friday. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1 next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Have you got your tickets yet? Single game tickets for the Rocket City Trash Pandas full season are still available. Every Friday and Saturday night at Toyota Field ends with fireworks, and after the completion of every Sunday game, kids get to run the bases. You can reserve your spot at Toyota Field for any of the remaining Trash Pandas home games right now. Go to TrashPandasBaseball.com to get your tickets while supplies last. Trash Pandas Baseball. Ignite the season.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Drinking coffee straight from the pot. Power move. Wearing a bathrobe to work. Power move. Switching to super fast, extra reliable internet from WOW. Power move. Switch and save with WOW internet for just $19.99 a month. It's switching season, so make a move with our best deal of the year. Get the speed you need starting with Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, ask how to get $200 on us. Sign up at wowway.com today. Wow. Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here, and it's summertime at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Come join us and enjoy our all-new summer fun menu featuring fan favorites like our Bam Bam Chicken, Go Fish, Alabama Gulf Buffalo Shrimp, and our all-new Buffalo-style wing fingers. All our shrimp dishes feature Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget, we're always looking for new legendary people to join our legendary team. Apply online at baumhauers.com/careers. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
256-576-4977.
Hold it, hold it.
That's 256-576-4977.
Thom Abraham Show. Quick look at the leaderboard at the British Open. Colin Morikawa, who shot a 64 today to back up his 67, now leads at 9 under. Louis Oosthuizen is at 8 under in second place. Jordan Spieth is having a good round today. 2 under on the day. He is 7 under, just 2 off the lead. Some other scores of note. Brooks Koepka has got it to 2 under. Dustin Johnson 2 under. Rory is even, shot 70 again today. Jon Rahm has it back to even. Stuart Sink not having a good day, 4 over today. He's got all the way back to even. Bryson DeChambeau, I got that story in the next hour. Coming up next, Matt Scalici talking SEC right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Braves baseball is celebrating 150 years, and this 2021 team is looking to kick down the door and make this season one for the history books.
Swing and a fly ball hit deep toward their bullpen. Are you kidding me? Another pinch hit homer.
Your new home of the Atlanta Braves.
Hit high in the air to deep right center field. We are tied!
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Problem. You want to get in shape, but packing a bag, getting gas, and driving to a gym is an expensive hassle. Solution? See Huntsville Fitness Equipment and build your own gym. That's right. Huntsville Fitness Equipment has commercial-grade equipment at home-grade prices. They'll deliver and set it up and save you up to $500 over the competition. And with brand names like Power Plate, Life Fitness, Hoist, and Bodycraft, you'll have quality equipment that lasts. Financing is available. Quality's guaranteed. Huntsville Fitness Equipment, 7540 South Memorial Parkway or fitnesszone.com.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Alabama's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. More intense than a Nick Saban press conference.
You sure you want to ask?
Your home of ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Can't assume anything. I don't even know what you asked me, but I just wanted to say that. You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 on a Football Friday in the Doghouse. I'm almost hyperventilating. You know, it's the eve of SEC Media Days. We haven't done this in a couple of years, and it's going to be fired up. And I can tell you, everybody's going to be so excited and so into it till about 10 o'clock on day 2. No, that's not true. We'll be into it. The whole time we're going to be into it. We'll be broadcasting all day long, every day from SEC Media Days. And you know who's going to be all over it as well is the crew from AL.com, Matt Scalici, and all those guys will be down there as well, I'm sure, in Hoover. And Matt joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Matt, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm good. When was the last time it was in Hoover, Tom? Was it 2019 or was it the year before that?
Well, no, 2019. Yeah, we were in Hoover 2019 because it was only there's only been one. It feels weird, but stop me if I'm lying. I think there was only the 1 year that it wasn't in Hoover. I mean, since we all started doing this back in the mid 80s anyway. It was that 2018 year in Atlanta. It was then supposed to be in Nashville, and then this was supposed to be in Atlanta. Last year gets postponed, and then this year Atlanta gets moved back to Hoover. So I only think once did we go to Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. And they had talked about making this more of a traveling thing. And honestly, look, I don't know how fans feel about it, and I'd be curious to know if this is actually an event that a large amount of fans would like to go to if it was in your town. I mean, I've always felt that the fan aspect of it is doing a disservice to everybody, and it turns it into an event that I've come to revile over the years, which is the media day for the college football playoffs, which is truly a waste of everyone's time. It's an event that they sell tickets to, basically, and fans go and they're screaming the whole time, and it's a big show, and they're playing music and everything. And it's supposed to be a press conference day, and none of us can get any audio or video that's worth a damn because they're cranking music in the background and there's fans screaming. So, it's not really good for anybody. And I hope that SEC Media Days doesn't turn into that eventually. I mean, it's like you said, it's not actually a very exciting event. It's meant to be a thing where a lot of us in the industry get a bunch of work done in advance for stories that we're going to run leading up to the season. And, somewhere along the way, it became this spectacle in and of itself, and now it's kind of a TV event, and everything else really, you're lucky if you can get anything else for yourself around that as a reporter.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But I will say this is, I think, about 15 years for me, and I know my first one was Mike Shula's first year. And remember, back in those days, this is 2004 or 5, something like that. In those days, the hallway was open to the fans for on Radio Row. And I remember when Mike Shula came down through there, it was like Elvis was in the building. I mean, there was this crush of fans that followed him with the TV cameras coming, and they were knocking stuff over on people's broadcast booths. Yeah. Microphones were getting knocked over. Tables were getting pushed out of shape and everything else.
And there was no plan. I mean, they didn't have it organized at all. And for anybody who has not been to that event before, what they do now is they basically corral the fans in the lobby. So they pack everybody together in this it's literally a corral in the middle of the lobby. And you can only come out of it to leave the hotel. And they won't have that this time around. There will not be any fans at Media Days. So,
I'm glad you said that because I wasn't sure of that. So they're not doing the bullpen for the media or for the fans this year. So there's not going to be that crush of people. Yeah, okay.
So it will be a little bit less of a spectacle. But again, and my understanding, Tom, is that they've actually cut down significantly on the number of media credentials that they gave out this year. So there'll probably be fewer of us up there too, but I still expect it's going to be pretty crowded.
No, there's going to be significantly less of us. They also cut way down on Radio Row, about half of the radio stations that there's been in the past. It'll feel like, in the old days a little bit. Maybe we'll actually get some work done along those lines, But, yeah, they're from what I understand, the elbow to elbow in the main room, where we would sit at those tables and listen to those speeches from the coaches, and then they take their question and answer periods. That's going to be all spread out. It'll be probably half of that. And I know, with us, we have 4 or 5 people, credentialed for it, but we're going to be like in waves. It's almost like they're kind of like doing some things in waves. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all works. And you're right, a lot of this is available. A lot of audio and so on is available. It does give the opportunity. I know for us, we'll broadcast there. Even our network shows will be there. Paul Feinbaum and Chuck Oliver and all our local shows will be there. It's a lot of opportunity, I think, to take a deep dive into teams with guys from around the league media-wise. It's become more media on media. Heck, I talk to you guys from AL.com all the time, but I love talking to the guys that cover Mississippi State and Arkansas and, the other teams, and getting a little deeper dive on what it's like, the day-to-day coverage that they have of their teams. And I think fans enjoy that. They enjoy, consuming that information.
Yeah, that's really what it is, I think, more than anything else for people who work in sports media in the SEC. It is a convention for our industry, if you will. And that's I think, because look, these days quotes are available to everybody.
Right.
It's not like this is the only time we can ever ask any of these coaches questions because we have a teleconference with every SEC coach every week, or we can get on Zoom now and ask a coach a question at one of his weekly press conferences, no matter where you are. So that part of it is not as rare and valuable anymore. But I think, for my team, that, we're really just in the business now of making documentaries and films about Alabama and Auburn football primarily. That's what the team that I run does most of the year. And we've got a few things in the works, and we're able to get a hold of a bunch of people. We actually get a little hotel room set up with a camera and microphone and everything, and we set up a little studio in there, and we're doing interviews for those documentaries. And SEC Media Days is huge for people like us, because when else are we going to get a chance to get, somebody like Paul Feinbaum to sit down with us and give his perspective on a big story that we're doing a documentary on?
Yeah, that's kind of the way it originated. There used to be what the industry calls B-roll. A lot of the networks would be in there, and they would gather B-roll to be used throughout the season and at different times during the season. And that's kind of, I guess, what you guys are doing. You'll probably record a lot of stuff that we will see throughout the season at the appropriate time, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, I think this is also kind of the last big deep breath for all of us before we're just in full season mode. And, some of this is real insidery media stuff, but when the football season is going on, it's very hard to do big special projects that take a lot of time and attention, because there's something happening every day that you have to pay attention to, and you're in a flow once the football season starts. But this next month here is when we get a lot of stuff done that is going to be coming out over the course of the rest of the year, but that we've had to be working on for the entire offseason, because it's so big and takes up so much of our time and attention that we know once Labor Day rolls around, we're not really going to be able to work on it anymore.
Matt Scalici with us from AL.com. And I would think you got two different kinds of stories, one out of Tuscaloosa and one out of Auburn, that take on a different, I would think a different angle for you guys. And I want to get your thoughts on it. You got an entire new staff and regime at Auburn, and it happens every 8 or 9 years or whatever, so it's been a minute. Brian Harsin, coming from a smaller program, himself being a Boise guy, and this is all his. So it seems like a lot of the intrigue is about how he handles it, how they recruit, how his staff handles it. And then at Alabama, you got a head coach that's been there now for 13 years or so, but you've got almost like an entirely new group of kids offensively, and people just pencil them into the national championship. Every year it doesn't matter. How do we know? Maybe Bryce Young ends up being, one of the guys, Blake Barnett or something. We don't know, but we just assume that he's going to be great, and so on. So I would imagine there's two different ways that you cover the story. One from the guys in the golf shirts, and the other for this whole new wave of kids that'll be the new stars, if you will, of Alabama.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually, part of what I do is I produce two shows for AL.com that are kind of driven towards fan opinion and fan culture. One of them is called Bammers, which is obviously about Alabama fans, and the other one is called Tiger Takes, that we started doing about Auburn. And we get a lot of it's a good way for us to get a sense of what the fans are thinking and feeling and what their excitement level is. And I think it's weird because I think Alabama fans have settled into, are they excited about football season? For sure. Are they nervous about it to that level where they get hyped through the roof because this is finally our year? Well, no, because they're just coming off of another national championship. So I think what I would say is they're not hungry for it, right? They're not anxious to get out there and prove themselves and see their team accomplish something again, because they're not insecure about it right now. They've got more national championships than most fans will ever experience in their entire lives put together. But I think there's some cautious optimism. I think there's again, like security is a good way to describe how Bama fans are feeling right now. So they're interested, but I don't think they feel worried about it. I don't think they're as hungry as maybe they are in a year where they're coming off of a disappointing finish. Maybe, I would say the last time it felt that way was coming off of that 2018 season where they got blasted by Clemson at the end, and it was just, how are we ever going to come back from this? Are we done? Is this the end of it? There's a lot more security now in that fan base, and I think for Auburn, it sounds similar, but there's an important and subtle difference. I think Auburn fans are also cautiously optimistic, but I think they don't have as high of expectations. And for some of those fans, I think that has created a little bit of lack of interest. I'm sensing a little bit less enthusiasm from Auburn fans right now. They're not mad, which is good. That's an improvement from most off seasons under Gus Malzahn. They're not saying, boy, we better do it this time around. But I don't know that Auburn fans. I don't know that I'm buying that a lot of Auburn fans genuinely think the 2021 Tigers are going to be special or going to particularly do anything that's going to blow anybody away. I think this feels more like, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And there's a little bit of malaise. I mean, I sense that as well. I don't think it's where Tennessee fan is. See, Tennessee fan is like, it's almost like they've had their hearts ripped out. Whereas Auburn fans
it's every other week too, Tom. At Tennessee, I mean, they're constantly losing players. I mean, it just
their best
getting
players
worse up there.
Yeah. It seems like that guy is just on. Whereas with Brian Harsin, he's actually stealing some players, from around the league. Now they're not doing very well in recruiting, which is a concern I know for some Auburn fans. It's like, why we're a little slow on the drop here on the recruiting. But they are recruiting well from the transfer portal. It seems like they're getting some things done. In the transfer portal.
I hate to borrow from another show, but I'm going to do it because it's the quote I've been thinking about all off season. But Paul Feinbaum made a lot of people upset this off season because he said he thought the Iron Bowl rivalry was dead currently, and I have to say I kind of see where he's coming from in as much as Auburn fans don't seem to have any expectation about being competitive with Alabama right now. I'm not saying that was always realistic for them to feel that way under Malzahn, but they did feel that way. I think Auburn fans always wanted a crack at Alabama. They wanted that shot to prove themselves and to shut Alabama up and embarrass them and derail their perfect run. I don't get any sense that Auburn fans believe that they should even hope to be competing with Alabama right now on the recruiting trail, on the field, any of it. And that is part of, I think, why we sense this lack of energy a little bit from that fan base. They are a fan base that I would say historically is very driven by rivalries and competing and sort of proving themselves against other programs that get more attention than them. And I think I don't sense that from them towards Georgia right now. I don't sense it towards Alabama. So, I need to see Harsin give that fan base a reason to believe that they can knock off somebody big at the top.
It's interesting that you say that about the Iron Bowl because, as great as this run has been under Nick Saban, they never won 6 in a row. And I never got, Tommy Tuberville won 6 in a row, right? From 2002 to 2007 till Saban's first year. And he beat them, 17-10 at Auburn. They won 6 in a row. Alabama's won 2 and then Auburn, 2 and then Auburn, 3 and then Auburn. And then they've split the last 4 games. So I don't know. I don't know that Auburn fan, as great as this run has been for Alabama, they are not as dominant as Auburn was in the 6 years previous to Nick Saban. So it still feels like every year Auburn still's got a shot at that game. They're always a 10 or 12-point underdog, but they've won 2 of the last 4. So I don't know. And I know that Alabama fans didn't feel like it was dead when Auburn was winning 6 in a row. They didn't feel like it.
I think they were nervous about the Iron Bowl every year, even when Auburn wasn't good.
It's like, are they ever going to beat them?
They knew Malzahn was going to have something for them in that game. I think right now it feels like Auburn traded Gus Malzahn, who had a higher ceiling but maybe a lower floor. You know, he was capable of bigger disappointments and disasters than maybe Harsin is going to be. But Gus also was capable of shocking you and doing truly surprising things that nobody expected that team to be able to do under him. And, you know, we just don't know if Harsin's going to be able to do stuff like that at the top end of what he's capable of. We do not know, and we won't know until we see, 2 or 3 seasons from him probably.
How much attention do you think you guys will give to Gus at UCF? Because I think that there is a mindset here that a lot of fans are going to compare these two guys, Harsin and what Gus does at UCF, and God forbid the expansion comes into playoffs, and Gus makes the playoff for UCF that he couldn't make the playoff with Auburn, or makes the playoff before Brian Harsin makes it with Auburn. But how much attention do you have to pay to that? Is there still a appetite for the readers, do you think, to kind of keep tabs on what Gus is doing?
For sure. I would argue that there will be even more interest from our readers in Gus than there was in Tommy Tuberville when he went to another job after Auburn, than there was in, I can't really think of an equivalent Alabama. I know Mike Shula had football jobs after Alabama, but
maybe when Franchione left, right? When Fran left and went to Texas A&M, I think a lot of people were like,
maybe not that level of heat, because Alabama fans truly hated Fran for doing that, and I don't think there's that feeling towards Gus. But I think there's a unique angle to it because of what has just happened with the change coming to the college football playoff, and we don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. But if it looks like what it sounds like it's going to look like, Gus has a legitimate chance of taking that program to the playoffs on a pretty regular basis. And I think that would cause some real, come to Jesus talks at Auburn about what did we do? Did we make the right decision? And it's going to make people question themselves if they look over and see UCF in the playoffs every other year because they're winning their conference, and Auburn can't crack out. Now, I understand that that's not equivalent because it's two very different conferences, but the question that what Gus Malzahn always wanted and what he believed, and I talked to him about this. I talked to his wife about this when we worked with them on some projects together. The thing that was most important to Gus was he believed that he could get a team to the national championship. And that was what was always most important to us. He wanted to compete for national championships. And he believed that he was capable of doing that at Auburn. And I think he only wanted I was surprised a little bit that he went to UCF, because everything that he and Christy told me was we would only leave Auburn to go somewhere that we felt like Gus still had a chance to win a national title. Now, I know they didn't voluntarily leave, but, I think he wouldn't be there. I don't think he would have said yes to that job if he didn't believe that he could get UCF into the playoffs. And now with these new changes, I think it's very possible. And I think fans will follow it. I think they will keep up with what he does there.
It'd be interesting to see how many times he would take UCF to the playoff, or whether
if he's still there by the time this new format.
Well, if they're saying 2023, I mean, if that's really happening in 2023, I think he would be there then. I don't know that he would take them to the playoff more than once, because I think that if he were to take them to the playoff, and if he were to say be double-digit wins the next 2 years, and then in the third year they win the conference and go to the playoff in the first expanded playoff, I just think he becomes a hot commodity again with Power 5 teams. I mean, this is still a guy that beat Nick Saban 3 times, and at one point was the 4th or 5th highest paid coach in the land. I don't know that he doesn't get another Power 5 shot.
And to be clear again, I mean, unless something's drastically changed about him or his family and their goals for his career, I don't think Gus is worried about money. This is a guy who's not gonna try to amass some billionaire empire for himself. he mostly wants to live a fairly low-key life when he retires. So he doesn't need that much money. The money at Auburn for him was always about job security. It was about making it really hard for them to fire him. And I think when the time comes, if Gus is in position again to get a Power 5 job, I think he's going to be very careful about what he picks, and I think that he's going to go to the program that he thinks gives him a legitimate shot to get to the playoffs on at least a fairly regular basis. He's not just going to jump at the first Power 5 job that comes his way. He wants to be on the biggest stage possible and prove that he is a championship coach. I think that's his number one priority.
Matt, I will see you somewhere in the halls next week at some point in time. I will recognize you. I think we're all vaccinated, so we don't have to worry about. I haven't seen any rule yet. Have you seen anything about masks or any of that kind of protocol yet?
The rule is that if you're, of course, I don't think they're going to be checking anybody for this, but the rule is that if you're not vaccinated, you're supposed to wear a mask, and otherwise, it's just up to you. So we'll see. I mean, again, I think it's more of a suggestion. I don't think they're going to actually be verifying for anybody.
I wonder when we get our credentials if they'll ask that. And what if they'll say, I didn't see anything that said be prepared to show your vaccination card or be prepared.
Has not been mentioned. No,
I have not seen that. That's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, I appreciate you as always, man. Tremendous stuff, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
I'll see you in the buffet line, Tom.
You definitely will see me in the buffet line. You know that. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.
See ya.
Matt Scalici. Do not miss the buffet line. Poor Grizz. I'll get Grizz down there one of these years. We'll get Grizz down there, and he'll be able to take in the full. Never been at all, Grizz? Not at all?
Nope, never once.
Okay. The time will come. Listen, with all of us going, and Grizz is credentialed, but with all of us going,
so somebody can have it.
We got to have unfortunately, no. But with all of us going, we got to have a horse back at Command Central. You got to have a horse back at Command Central, and that's going to be Grizz. He'd be holding down the fort for us. All right, let's get a break. Phone lines are open now. The rest of the way, I got some interesting text and tweets I want to get to. If you want to jump in, 256-576-4977. 576-4977. Interesting column written by Joe Goodman. Not a huge Joe Goodman guy, but he wrote a very interesting thing about, we might as well just skip to 16. Why are we jerking around with 12? I thought that was kind of fascinating. And we're always focusing on what's going on in the SEC and recruiting at the top of the table. Clark Lee has got something going on in Nashville. Not to the point, I'm just saying, Clark Lee has Vanderbilt in the national recruiting rankings at a place that they haven't been since James Franklin left. And it's kind of interesting. And I share that as well. It's Thom Abraham Show. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
The NBA Finals now even at 2 games apiece. The Suns will host Game 5 tomorrow. They come in a 4-point favorite. The over-under 218. Giannis Antetokounmpo now the favorite to win MVP at plus 130. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's trilogy fight for the WBC Heavyweight Championship has been moved to October. The most recent odds have Fury at minus 290, Wilder plus 225. NASCAR Cup Championship Series, Kyle Larson the favorite plus 250, Chase Elliott at plus 650, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch at plus 800, Martin Truex at plus 900. Larson and Truex each at plus 500 atop the odds for Sunday's Foxwood Resort Casino 301. Denny Hamlin at plus 550.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton.
David is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline.
Good blue cheese with hot wings is better than any ranch, and I'll fight anybody that disagrees with me.
I would agree with you. I haven't even seen how big you are.
Well, Wes, I'm not as big as you, but I'm big enough.
Listen to The Drive, weekdays starting at 5 p.m. on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
Contractors and homeowners throughout the Tennessee Valley agree. Valley Equipment Rental is the place to go when you need to get the job done like a pro. Rhyming aside, Valley Equipment has everything you need for your project, from tillers for the garden to aerators for the lawn to stump grinders, augers, and mowers, plus skid steer and mini excavators. Oh, the skid steer and excavators. Valley Equipment is North Alabama's leader in skids and excavators with 25 of each, and they have them in all different sizes. Check them out today on the South Parkway or at valleyequipmentrents.com.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, a mostly sunny sky. High temperatures will top out in the lower 90s for the day. And for your Friday night, expect a few lingering scattered showers, a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures will fall into the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Jordan Spieth with a birdie on 12 to tie the lead at the British Open at 9 under. Welcome back. Tied with Colin Morikawa, who is in with a 64. Spieth through 12 holes today. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. This segment of the show brought to you by TOC Sports, helping us broadcast from SEC Media Days. Next week will be TOC Sports for all your injury needs. It's TOC Sports. Doesn't matter how you got hurt. Doesn't matter if it's a sports injury or not. It's the Orthopedic Center, and their surgeons and doctors are second to none. Do what most of the schools and Alabama A&M and Huntsville Havoc do, have TOC take care of you. Interesting text. In college football, one of the best feelings is to enjoy an upset victory. Been a long time for Alabama fans, but I think they are okay with that. You know, that's a very interesting statement because I will just say this about that. I for example, 2005, Alabama, Florida. Mike Shula's best year there. When Alabama just drubbed Florida 31-10. Of course, the negative was the Tyrone Prothro injury in that game, late in the game. But that was exhilarating. I mean, you got the struggle, year in, year, struggle. And then win a game like that feeling, you know, those covers, Bama is back, you know. When the Browns beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoff, it was so incredibly exhilarating last year for me and all my sons and my dad. As we sat there and watched the Browns beat the Steelers in the playoff, it was exhilarating. It was a feeling. It's a tough feeling to replicate. Now, would you trade that for being the dominant team? I mean, there are times week in and week out where it's like, oh God, you know, it's all right. You know, you watch a game, but I mean, it's out of control. There's no excitement. There's no edge of your seat. You wait all the way until a playoff to have, you know, a couple of really close games or the SEC championship game, or, you know, some people say that. You know, I don't know that I'd rather be a fan of a team that, you know, occasionally has a big upset than I would be of a team that is dominant. But I get exactly what this guy is talking about. The feeling of an upset victory in sports is really something to be a fan of a team that pulls off a big upset.
I mean, look at me as a Hawks fan. I was so in tuned with what the Hawks were doing.
Could you imagine if they were still playing?
Oh, yeah,
you know?
without a doubt. I'd be
I'd
be all over the place.
Right? It'd be out of your mind. But, I mean, Alabama has been a favorite in – look this up, Grizz. I think Alabama's been favored in something like 115 of their last 116 games. The last time they were a dog was against Georgia, and they beat the snot out of them in a regular season game. They were a dog against Georgia, and they just beat the living snot out of them. Now, they haven't won all of these games, but they're always literally always the favorite. They've been favored in every game for 10 years, it feels like. Grumpy is up. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. I was just going to comment. Yeah, I just don't think the Iron Bowl's down or even – he said dead, I think the word what he used.
Well, no, that's what Feinbaum said. Feinbaum said the Iron Bowl is dead, and he's absolutely wrong. There's no way you can tell me that. Yeah.
He needs callers. He's caller-driven. He's got to have callers. And I didn't know it was Feinbaum. Now that you mention it, I remember that. But what makes you think that, Malzahn would leave UCF? UCF, as you know, is the largest university in Florida. They can match just about anybody's money. If things got rolling down there and they started making the playoffs, they, you know, and Gus was always the kind of guy that I thought, I've met him many times, that, you know, he was trying to do something. He was trying to build something, not get something. You know, he's got more money than he'll ever spend.
Right. But they're a big.
Let me just say this: the Orlando that he has access to is not the Orlando that I have access to. When I go to Orlando, I'm not real impressed with the city, but the Orlando he has access to is paradise.
It's still not going to be a big. Don't confuse a university being big with their budget being big for football. Now, he's going to make good money. It's not chump change. It's not big-time Power 5 money. It'll be good money.
If he has things rolling down there, they can match Power 5 money.
Not for his staff. Look, they got a little – you know, their stadium, everybody talks about that. It's a nice stadium. It's half the size of Auburn Stadium. You know, the stadium is like 40 or 50,000. It's not – it's – look, you know what the biggest university is in the state of Tennessee?
I'd have to guess.
MTSU. Yeah, MTSU. Okay. But they don't have the budget nearly that UT has or even Vandy has for football. The biggest university in the state of Florida, I believe, is USF.
Yeah, I guess my point is, if he can make the playoffs down there and pretty much live in a great environment,
I know what you're saying.
Why leave? Why go back to what does a Power 5 school offer you if you've already got $30-40 million in the bank?
Well,
what do they offer you?
Can you to be the head coach of USC or Oklahoma or Penn State, or I don't know who would come calling, but if he has 3 or 4 really good years there and has an opportunity, whatever happens and Ed Orgeron gets blown out at LSU and LSU offers him that job, would you rather be the head coach at LSU post-Saban, or would you rather be the head coach at UCF? You know what I mean? I mean, there is a certain thing there.
I'd rather be at UCF and make the playoffs more often. And
I'd rather win the national championship. They're not winning the national championship, though. They can make the playoffs and get whacked in the first round every year, but they're not going to win the national championship. You can win the national championship at LSU or at Penn State or at some major Power 5 team.
Listen, Gus has gotten Auburn there twice. You can say that what's his name was the head coach, which I don't, we were excited to get him as the head coach.
Yeah, his name was Chiswick. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You guys hated that, remember? Everybody went nuts. They were like, Chiswick, he did nothing at Iowa State. Chiswick?
But my point is Gus Malzahn can win a national championship with UCF. It's just going to take him 8 to 10 years.
No,
you can only get 11 guys on the field, Tom.
They can't get the right 11.
Out there.
He's behind the other. Listen, at the very, very best, they are the 4th best recruiting school in the state. In the state. All right, in his own state.
Gus just got there.
They'll never out-recruit Miami and Florida and Florida State. Never.
I disagree.
I'm telling you, man. Live there.
Okay, and those teams you just named aren't going to make the playoffs. So they're not going to win a national championship. Why would he leave? Why would he leave UCF? I don't see why he would.
Yeah, I think I appreciate it. I think you can win the national championship at Miami, Florida, and Florida State. I think you can. I'm not saying this year they're going to, but I think you can. I don't think you can at UCF. At the end of the day, I don't think you can at UCF. It's just a thought. I don't know what the heck's going on with my laptop. I can't get into any web pages.
What are you doing?
It's weird. I don't know. My laptop is like acting so weird. I can't get into anything. Like, it's just closing all of these pages, and now it's just acting very, very strange.
Kramer said he'd work for me if it got me to SEC Media Day next week.
Yeah, no. Yeah, thanks, Kramer. Appreciate it, but no. See, the problem isn't this. The problem isn't pulling these levers. We got some people that can pull some levers. It's troubleshooting. Hey, you got to have a guy like Grizz that can troubleshoot. You got to have a guy like Grizz that can fix it.
I think I've done that twice this week.
Right, he's already done that twice this week. And then the other problem is Grizz is our office manager. He's our business manager. You know what I mean? So, there's that. You know what I mean? It's not just about this.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate it. I really do. But stop it. You're going to get me in trouble.
By the way, did that big check come in yet?
I have not seen it.
Damn. They said it was sent UPS.
Next door didn't send me anything.
Crazy.
That's my phone.
Nice ringtone.
Yes, that's just the ESPN updates.
Oh, I thought it was your ringtone.
I actually have a good ringtone.
Is Crawdad still there? Give me Crawdad. Yes. Crawdad, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Tom. How you and Grizz doing?
I would be doing better if my laptop would let me load a page. My laptop is totally not letting me load anything. It's crazy. But anyway.
Hey, I've had IT problems all day. But hey, I want to switch gears and talk about something that I have a solution for and see what you think about it. And that is not name, image, and likeness, but how a college can actually pay their players and make it legitimate and make it easy for everybody to do. And I'll use my daughter as an example. My daughter was at the University of Alabama on an academic scholarship, and the university gave her a job. She could only work 20 hours a week. She only made minimum wage, but she did it for all 4 years. And my plan would be this, and it would be – are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my plan would be this, and it would be simple. You just simply take all the athletes from every sport, put them on the same plan as the scholarship students where they get paid for 20 hours a week at minimum wage, and you take all the money's there. I've ran the numbers, and you can take the monies that are coming in from the college football playout, allocate them to the schools, and let them pay their hockey players and their volleyball players and whoever. They get the same wage as the other scholarship students that are working for the university. And if something comes wrong with their getting other monies from other places, then what happens is the university kicks them off the team and turns them into the IRS. It's not a lot of money to do that, and everybody would have their spending money. It would work with Title
but you're
IX.
talking about you're talking about $250, $300 a week, right?
Yeah, and the
these guys are making.
We're talking.
Yeah, but that's nothing. That's chump change. First of all, secondly, they'd be employees, which changes everything for the university. They got to give them. There's certain things that they have to do. They'd have to pay the disability and all the other kind of stuff.
No, they don't. No, they don't, Tom, because they're not 40-hour-a-week employees. They only do it for 20 hours a week. That's what the scholarship students get. That's what the athletes are confined. They don't have to pay them health care, workman's comp, any of that stuff, because they're not a 40-hour-a-week full-time employee.
Yeah, but what's the rate? What's their hourly rate going to be? How much money are you going to give them for 20 hours a week?
Well, what they do, the other scholarship students, what they did for my daughter is they pay a minimum wage. And, originally before
you mean for doing like a work-study job? Like that's how my son was when he was on the staff at Alabama. They paid him 20 hours a week. He was at the office 50 hours a week, but they paid him 20 hours a week as a as a student assistant when he was at Alabama, and it amounted to like $230 a week, something like that. Bill, these guys are making tens of thousands of dollars on these deals that they're doing. The kid at TSU got $2 million.
I understand that, but not everybody gets that. And if the argument is that the athletes just need spending money, now granted the two are going to make $3 million on name, image, and likeness, but if everybody else just needs spending money, which used to be the argument, then you pay them the same wage as the other scholarship students for their 20 hours a week, and then they've got their spending money. And,
I don't think the argument is I don't think the argument is the spending money as much as it is, these guys want a chunk of the huge amount of money that's coming into college sports. And the reality is that there's still only, relatively speaking, a percentage of programs that make money, and they're keeping all of the money. The best way to pay these kids is to put all of the money outside sources. Take the money from outside sources like the video games and the merchandise sales, the gear, and all of that stuff, and throw it into a hopper and split it evenly across the board for all of the athletes, and no matter what sport you're in. So even if you're the quarterback on a football team versus the volleyball player, the quarterback on a football team and a volleyball player both get a check at the end of each month for $2,600 or whatever it is. Now the quarterback can go do his own NIL deals, but if you get the amount of money that would come in just off of video games would be absolutely incredible, and give the players 3% of that, all the athletes.
I agree with that, but nonetheless, there still ought to be a baseline, and the baseline already exists. They pay scholarship students down there 20 hours a week. So, hey, just a thought. Enjoying your show. I got to run. Thanks.
All right, man. Appreciate you. 67 games in a row before the 2020 season, but that, Grizz, only goes back to the Georgia game. Back about 3 years ago when they beat the snot out of Georgia over there in Athens,
right?
And they were a 2 or 3 point underdog. Before that game, it was like 80 games in a row. So it's something like 140 of the last 141 games. It's some stupid thing like that. Since they've been an underdog once in I think 10 years. Alabama. I think once they've been an underdog in 10 years.
I think people actually understand what I went through as an Alabama fan, going through all those years of middle school, high school, just getting ridiculed by Auburn fans for so many years, 6 in a row, or 7 in a row, and just constantly over and over and over again. And you're just like, hey, feels good. Feels real good when you only win one national title in the last decade.
All right, let's get a break. We'll come back. Final segment is next for the week right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture the new DQ Summer Blizzard treat menu with iconic flavors that taste like instant summer. You order the one and only Drumstick Blizzard with peanuts. Oh, wow. Crunchy waffle cone pieces, world-famous DQ soft serve, and Blue Sky Bliss. Or maybe you get the Brownie Batter Blizzard. Ooh, wee. Fudgy brownie goodness. You're feeling breezy and dreamy all over. Moments like these are why the new DQ Summer Blizzard treat menu exists. Get it delivered at DQ.com. DQ. Happy tastes good.
With an impressive roster of explosive young superstars and the reigning MVP, the Atlanta Braves are showing the East what they're made of.
1-1 on the way. He connects it. It's a high fly ball to deep right field, way back towards the seats, and this ball is gone!
Your new home of the Atlanta Braves.
Hit high in the air to deep right center field. We are tied!
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
With double the seasoned beef and a large drink all for $5, Taco Bell's Grande Nachos truly deserves a Grande intro, perhaps with a Grande beat box. Said it's crunchy, it's cheesy, beef. Actually, that sounded better in my head. Go get the $5 Grande Nachos before they make every exit. Nope, only at Taco Bell. At limited participating locations for a limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes. Double the seasoned beef as compared to the Nachos Bell Grande.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, a mostly sunny sky. High temperatures will top out in the lower 90s for the day. And for your Friday night, expect a few lingering scattered showers, a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures will fall into the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Final segment of the Thom Abraham Show. Brought to you by our friends at the Rocket City Trash Pandas. The movie night tonight, Grizz, have you ever been out there to see a movie?
No, I have not, but it looks a lot of fun.
Doesn't it look like a blast? They got movie night tonight. Go to the Trash Pandas website. You get more information about that. They'll be back next week playing more baseball games, but they're on that 6-game series, if you will, down in Birmingham. But check out movie night down there. What a cool night to go and hang out. And I haven't heard the weather. Is the weather going to be okay or what tonight? I know it's a little bit iffy, but I think it might be all right. You know.
I think so. Yeah, no, we were having problems with our weather this morning. We didn't get it on time.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty today. It looks pretty right now anyway. So I think it was supposed to be good, heading to the overnight.
Vanderbilt, Grizz, is now number 24 in the 24/7 sports composite team rankings. 24. Vanderbilt's never 24. They're never top 25 in terms of, recruiting. But they flipped an edge rusher by the name of Darren Agu from Notre Dame. Of course, that's where Clark Lee came from. But this kid is a 6'6", 225-pounder. He's the 18th commitment for Clark Lee. Now, they don't have any 4 or 5 stars. So a lot of this is a numbers game. For example, Auburn has 6 commitments. But Vanderbilt has 18 commitments. They're all 3-star or under. But they still do have, 18 commitments. Agu said that the coaching staff is incredible. He had 30 offers, including Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, Penn State, and Tennessee, and he chose Vanderbilt. He was offered by Alabama, Auburn, chose Vanderbilt. He said, quote, "They truly value you as a person and as a player. They appreciate you, unlike some schools. They've got a great vibe, especially my position coach, Javon Hay, who is a great man." Javon Hay is a great man. Javon Hay is a great man. Let's get Javon back on the show. "They make you feel at home 100%, he said. Tight end commit Cole Spence said, "They sell the school, the football program, and it's real. It's not hype. Vandy is a top 15 school academically. Nashville is the number 2 city or college city." What's the number 1 college city?
I don't know. I'll look.
I wonder what the number 1 college city is. If Nashville is the number 2 college city, what would be the number 1 college city? Orlando? I don't know. What would be the number 1 college city? I don't know what reference he's looking at for that. Nashville has the number 2 most beautiful campus. Again, based on what? I've been on all of them in the SEC. Vandy's campus is not number 2 to anybody. It's not number 1. I don't mean it that way. It's not. There's nothing special about the campus. You know who's got a beautiful campus? North Carolina, Chapel Hill. UNC. That's a beautiful campus. Unbelievable. Vandy is number 1 for kids that love their college. Really? They have a $300 million investment in new sports facilities. It's SEC football. They have an incredible coaching staff with resumes from both college and the NFL. Well, okay. But just saying, Vanderbilt? I mean, I like number 8 or 9 in the SEC in recruiting. But that was kind of an interesting thing when I saw that. All right, coming up next, it's Chuck Oliver and Paul Feinbaum in The Drive. And when we come back to you on Monday, we'll be at SEC Media Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy it. I promise you. Grizz mixed the show. I'm Thom Abraham. And this is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.